Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is my review for the third episode of Season 2 of Stargirl titled Summer School Chapter 3. The description for the episode says, after getting the taste of superhero life, Mike pleads with Pat to let him join the team, and after seeking help from the Thunderbolt, the JSA prepares for a confrontation with the Shade. We started off with a flashback to the night that the old JSA died. The JSA had left Pat behind along with Johnny Thunder, and Johnny felt terrible because it makes sense to leave a sidekick behind, but Johnny was supposed to be a hero. Turns out it was his lucky day, or unlucky I guess, because Wildcat came back asking for his help against Solomon Grundy, but they still left Pat behind because he had to raise Mike. I love Wildcat's suit. I can't believe how well they pulled it off in live action. It seems that the reason Johnny was left behind is because the genie from his pink pen is too unpredictable, dangerous, and kinda annoying. Based on that and the fact that its owner needs to be someone that feels as lonely as him, Mike was the perfect candidate. Mike was being bullied when delivering papers, and he felt left out at home while his family of superheroes made plans to take down the Shade. So when he borrowed the pink pen and wished he was a superhero, the genie revealed that Mike was his new owner and told him some rules, like that the wishes have to be extremely specific. It's kinda cool that Wildcat indirectly made sure that the genie would have a new owner by telling Pat to stay behind that night. But Mike doesn't understand that with great power comes great responsibility, because of course the first thing he did was get back at his bullies by wishing them to stop, and literal stop signs came flying down from the sky. I get the show tries to capture the feeling of the classic comics, but last season had this grounded tone to it, like people could tell Courtney and Yolanda were Stargirl and Wildcat through their masks. Well, this was more like Legends of Tomorrow. I thought Pat might be able to relate to Mike's loneliness because he was left behind with Johnny that night, but then again Pat loves being on the sideline for some reason, and he wouldn't let Mike join the team until the kids forced him to. I love the montage of them coming up with a super specific plan to locate the Shade, and that Barbara had to approve of their plan. I wouldn't have approved. That was such a stupid plan. They found the Shade at the wizard's house, where he revealed that he had no evil plans and only worked with Icicle because their interests aligned at the time. He's super old, he's been around since the 1800s, so then he started rambling on about how Gen Z is gonna destroy the world, and I guess Mike kinda proved him right because he ruined everything by disobeying Pat's orders, showing up and attacking the Shade with the genie. Now obviously the Shade defeated him and the whole team and escaped. That was such a cool scene. I'm so glad we got a moment between Mike and Yolanda where she thought Mike might be able to relate to her over her sins since he killed Icicle, but turns out he did it by accident, which further proves to him that he's not fit to be a hero. He accidentally wished that the genie would have a better owner, so the pen disappeared, setting up Jakeem Thunder. But also Yolanda had been getting severe headaches, which before I thought was just PTSD, but could Brainwave still be living in her head and hunting her? He was a telepath after all. Or maybe it's Eclipso. We didn't see Cindy or Eclipso at all this episode, but by the end everyone found out about him. Those last few scenes were just perfect, with Barbara telling Pat about the diamond, my Hournite moment when Beth finally opened up to Rick about her parents' divorce right before the goggles suddenly started working again and told him about Eclipso, and finally that shot of the Shade on the clock tower, which looks so good, and we learned that he's after Eclipso. Last episode he was asking Barbara for the wizard's magic stuff. Now he went looking for it at the American Dream, only to find that the box containing the black diamond was empty because Cindy took it in the finale. When he talked to the team, the Shade mentioned that his interest only aligned with Icicles for a while. He was never a part of the ISA, and since he said that the only thing worse than a man who wants to rule the world is one who wants to save it, it probably wasn't over ending all sorts of injustice, oppression, having free healthcare. I think he worked with the ISA to take down Eclipso when that little kid was his host, because otherwise why did the ISA have the black diamond and not the JSA? Overall, I thought this was the weakest written episode of the whole show, at least with the Mikey Thunder storyline, and it's the first time I haven't totally loved an episode. Still enjoyed it, but didn't love it. Even though Cindy and Eclipso were missing, we still got the horror aspect with the scene where the Shade appeared to Barbara at the American Dream, and I also love when Rick said that it'll be historic when he gets his hands on the Shade, and they pointed out how stupid that sounds. But with Mike's storyline, it felt very much like Legends of Tomorrow. The stop signs falling from the sky is definitely something they will do, which makes me worried. Stargirl is definitely not there yet, but there's a balance between comedy and seriousness that Legends crossed a long time ago and haven't permanently been able to come back from. Also, the genie's effects were okay, but definitely weaker than the Green Lantern effects. They followed the Flash's example of doing these effects in bright daylight, so of course it looked best during the fight with the Shade in a darker room. While I thought his storyline wasn't the strongest, this is the most I've ever liked Mike. I found him annoying in season 1, but now he's won me over. Just please keep dressing him as Sage and not like a child. The way people feel about Jonathan Kent on Superman and Lois is how I felt about Mike this episode. I don't really like Jonathan, but Mike just couldn't win. I feel like his realization that he only defeated Icicle by accident and the loss of the genie will lead Mike to join Injustice Unlimited with Cindy, because it seems like Eclipso is feeding on sins, so he might manipulate Mike like he did to Bobby through envy. Envy for Jakeem, who was his only friend and will now have the pen and get to be a superhero. Like Mike said, he wishes he could be a superhero, but now he can't be one because he accidentally wished the pen away, and Jakeem will be the one to be a hero, just like Courtney and Pat. Speaking of Eclipso, I was surprised so much development happened so quickly. It sort of felt like a mid-season finale. I'm really interested in the Shade now that we know he's connected to Eclipso's storyline. I thought the Shade would be the first antagonist and Eclipso would be revealed in episode 6. Instead, the Shade is here to take down Eclipso, and everyone already found out about Calypso. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Leave your thoughts on the video or the episode in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Goodbye.